their spouses. And by the way, when you meet your spouse in Jannah, it's not like meeting your spouse here. So don't get depressed. Right? Right? Oh, you get to meet your wife? Jannah, I thought it was... You're here too? No, not like that. Am I in the right place? No, not like that. All the ghil, all the ill feelings, all the things that you find annoying about your spouse. We love our spouses, but there are things that we don't get along with. There are things that are causes of friction. Allah gets rid of all of those things. The only thing left is love and affection and appreciation. That's all that's left. And then you meet your spouse and you're like, wow, why wouldn't we like this in dunya? Because it's Jannah. You can't have that in dunya. You get that in dunya for the first week of marriage. That's it. After that, the flight lands on your own planet.
When was the last time you sent your wife an SMS? Why should I? It's 25 kirsh. So much. She doesn't deserve this. No, ya akhi, while in your office. What's wrong with sending her an SMS saying, I love you, I miss you? Sheikh, this is inappropriate. Me saying to my wife, I love you? Are you stupid? The Prophet used to say this, alayhi salatu salam. The Prophet, alayhi salatu salam, whenever Aisha used to drink from a glass of milk, he would take it and he looks where she put her lips and drinks from it. Nowadays, the husband says, honey, bring me a spoon so that I can eat with. She says, take my spoon. He said, you crazy? Wash it 7 times with water and once with soil and bring it over. What kind of a husband is this? Ya akhi, she is your wife. The Prophet ﷺ used to see the meat where she took a bite from and he would put his mouth on it. This is the love we want. So send her an SMS. When you're coming from work, ya akhi, buy her a rose. 7 riyals rose. Buy her a dress. When you see her coming out, this is for the sister, for the husband. Huh? When you see your husband coming out of the shower, and most men do this, huh? They stand in front of the mirror, do this, flexing their muscles, and you say to them, and he says to her, honey, how do I look? She says, she breaks in laughter for half an hour. And she laughs. What's wrong? And she laughs for half an hour. He will divorce her. On the contrary, when he says like this, she says, MashaAllah, I don't know whether your biceps are bigger or Arnold Schwarzenegger's. Wow, you look beautiful, my love, my hubbi. You should say this. This is what increases. It's the same thing happens with us, huh? When the missus all dresses up and she's going to a wedding or to a party, and she said, how do I look? We say, is this your daughter's dress? She says, no, why? She's too tight. I can see all the fat coming out of it. No, it's not good on you. Ya akhi, this is wrong. Lie to make the love ignited. So when you see this, wallahi, I don't know who's making who beautiful. Wallahi, you are making this dress so beautiful. It's not the other way around. You're the charming one who's making the dress beautiful. How she would blush and say, wow, you're lying. And you say, yeah. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. You should try your level best to have this love increase. So it takes a lot of diplomacy, but it is not something difficult. It is an art. And you have to know your shortcomings, you know how to do this, and inshallah, Allah will make things right.
And the same applies to the spouse. You know you love them, but you need to say it again and again. Like we got to the food moments ago, and you need to say this food is, mashallah, it's really, really great. Even if the salt is a little bit more. Because sometimes, as I was saying, she spends so much time bringing it in front of us, and we are worried about how it's smelling, number one. And number two is we say, as we taste it, the salt is too much, no? Salt is too much, no? What are you talking about? She just looks at you and her face flops. I've been at it for 3 hours here, 4 hours. I've been busy with this for so many months. And what is she going to say? Next time I'll try a bit better, a bit harder. That's if she's a good woman. If not, she'll say, never going to cook this again. Typical. It's typical. Never going to cook this again. And if you have someone who's very witty, the next time there's salt to be put in, I'll call you to put it. So we need to praise the cooking of our wives. We need to praise their dress code, especially. For example, I can let you know something that has worked for some people. Where you find some women, they don't like to dress appropriately. So the husband sometimes wants to tell them something. There are 2-3 ways of doing it. You can either say, this is very bad, I don't want you to wear this, and you might have a response. But if you want a response from the heart, what you do is, you tell them, the other dress look much better than this. See, so you are praising one thing, and that praise is not there when the other thing is there. So you have told them in a way that this is what I really love. And go beyond the limits in praise. That's your wife, don't worry. You can say whatever you want to. MashaAllah, in terms of goodness. Like the food, when you eat, even if it is a little bit this way, that way, just praise it, MashaAllah. See what it is. Praise the effort at least, MashaAllah, Let me tell you what has happened once. They say the Imam in the masjid said, in fact, 2 things have come to my mind. The Imam in the masjid said, you need to praise the cooking of your wife, just like I said now. So the man went home and he had this meal and he was looking at it and looking at his wife and smiling and all happy, mashallah, and excited and everything. And when he finished, he says, oh, it was awesome. And the wife says, what? I've been cooking for you for 21 years, you never said that. Today when the food came from the neighbor, you want to say it was awesome. So he says, oh, I'm sorry about that, I didn't know. It's like the other one, the Imam, he was telling the people, he gave them advice in the masjid about their wives, that look, you need to do this and do that. So the man goes home very happy. He tells his wife, darling, I'd like to carry you today. Oh, wow. Oh, I hope I'm not too heavy, darling. So anyway, he carries his wife, mashallah, and he's carrying. What makes you do this, my beloved? What's happening here? Oh, the Imam told us, go home and carry your burdens, mashallah.
Said, if you love someone, a girl, so much, it's already a problem, I can see right now. I didn't read the whole question, but it's starting out like it's a problem here. Okay, if you love someone, a girl, so much, and you can't get married just yet, and at the same time you want to be a good Muslim and not break the law of Allah, what should you do? Well, first of all, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that if you're a young man and you can't get married, then you should fast. The other thing is, you shouldn't be around that person who you love so much. That's like being in the kitchen with a chocolate cake that you love so much. And your mother and father, they leave and go to work and leave that cake on the table that you love so much. And you upstairs, and that cake is downstairs on the table that you love so much. And you come downstairs and you look at the cake so much. And you don't cut the cake, you just reach out and just take a little piece of chocolate and put it in there, run back upstairs. Well, once you get that chocolate in your mouth, that's it. Because you're going to like that chocolate cake more than so much. And chances are, by the time your parents get home, there's going to be a slice out of that cake. And that means that you ate a piece of it so much. Well, the same thing happens with girls and boys. If they spend the improper time without supervision against the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, and they're allowed to talk to each other on them phones so much, and they're allowed to visit each other and see each other in school and in the streets and on the bus stop and in the cafes so much, then it's not going to take no more than about 6 months to a year before something happens so much. So fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and whoever's daughter it is, you need to respect her and leave her alone. You don't even have a right to write to her. You don't have a right to call her on the phone. You don't have a right to do anything more than what one of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ did. Maybe you might could stand down the street when she comes and hide behind a tree and just look at her. That might be allowed for you to do. So stay away from that young lady. talk to her parents, talk to your parents, make some plans, and if you're old enough to adopt responsibility and you got a room in your house, ask your parents to allow you to marry this girl that you love so much, even if you're in school. And it's better for her to be in your room married, and the two of you 15, 16, 17, and for you to love her so much married, than for what may happen if you don't. That's what I can advise you to do. And I mean, that's just being real. Now, if the parents of this young man are here, you should listen and talk to your child and what they're saying here, because they could wind up in a problem. Because it seems to me he might be on the verge of breaking the law. So much.
Male, female friends. The problem is that they use the term friends. If it was acquaintance, we'll say okay. Friends is a very technical term. And you remember that silly, lousy, wicked, evil soap opera of the days called Friends? You remember that one? Maybe you've never seen it. Alhamdulillah. In my jahiliyyah, I have bits and pieces of it. What was these friends? You know what these friends were doing. And you know what friends mean. Now let me give you some good news. Beautiful news. In Islam, you're one of three people. Married, engaged, or single. Khalas. There's nothing else. Either you are married, case closed. Your time is up. Sorry for you. Or you are engaged, on the verge of marriage, and you have guidelines. Or you are single, means single. There's nothing in between. There's no friend which I'm trying to learn and get to know. So in case I like him, I can tell daddy, you know, this guy I met on Facebook is a beautiful man, mashallah. Very religiously committed. We've only had, you know, video chat 3 times. This is a religiously committed brother sitting there chatting with you through video. What did you leave for the religiously committed brothers then? If this is the religiously committed, what did you leave for the real ones? What did you leave for the wicked? Sitting there getting to know each other. She smiles and look, let's stop lying. People fall in love in 3 seconds. Human beings have the ability to fall in love in 3 seconds. A sister can send a brother a message, say, Salaam alaikum, how are you today? And he's done. I'm not lying. And vice versa. Yes? No, not everyone is like that. Not everyone is like that. But this happens very often. And remember when chatting first came out, people were falling in love with 10 people every night. Everybody loves, oh, I love, he never seen her, doesn't know anything about her, except her name. But a few words back and forth, and oh, this is my soulmate. Finally, someone who can hear me. This person's not even hearing you. You know, you chat and they go in the kitchen cooking, they come up and you're typing, they don't even read anything. Then they come back, say, yes. Say, oh wow, what a patient friend. Wallah, he closed it 10 times. But every time he closes the box, when you chat again, it opens again. He's not even reading anything. Come on, keep it real. There's no such thing as friendship. No such thing. You can have male friends as a sister, and brothers, you can have female friends. No such thing. What is the nature of the relationship? Either you are a person of knowledge whom you are asked, people ask you questions, then this is fine, because the Sahabiyat, the wives of the Prophet or the female companions asked the Prophet ﷺ, no problem. We're not saying there's absolutely no communication, but the communication now has to have a purpose, meaning this sister is communicating with this brother who has knowledge to learn something about the deen, and not this kind of ongoing learning process. It's more like a question and answer within particular guidelines. Preferably, if the brother has a wife, he creates a joint account with his wife, so whenever an email comes from his sister, his wife reads it too. Otherwise, you may fall into the trap. Many sisters will shock you. It begins with 3 questions. The 4th question is, do you want a second wife? And that's fitna. That's fitna. That's fitna for a man. Even if he has 3, if a 4th one offers herself, it's a fitna. That's human nature. I'm not, I'm speaking real deal stuff. Human beings, I'm not gonna lie, pretend that we're something else. This opens the door to calamities. Let alone the communication and the correspondence is not that of a questioner and an answerer. It is that of friends. I'm learning the deen from him. The ulama used to say it is not halal for you to be alone with the sister even if you're teaching her the Quran, even if it's tajweed and you have the book of Allah between you, it's haram for you to sit with her. This friendship is a form of seclusion.
Prophet said, no matter what you spend on your family, that is wife, you will be rewarded even the morsel of food you put in your wife's mouth. Imagine, if you have a good intention, every day you go and buy groceries. What do you do when you come home with 2 big full bags of grocery? The wife sees this, mashallah, jazakallah khair, father of so-and-so. In Arabia you say Abu Abdullah, Abu Muhammad, the beautiful nicknames. So she says, mashallah, jazakallah khair, for may Allah grant you, reward you and grant you more money on for what you spend on us. What does the man say? It cost me 75 pounds and 28 piece. And he puts the receipt. Why are you doing this? Why are you rubbing it in? You just want to make it bad for your wife? She's thanking you. The least you can do is say, may Allah reward you as well. Why do you have to show her that I've spent so much on the grocery? You're the one who's going to eat it. If you anticipate the reward from Allah for the morsel you put in her mouth, Allah Azza wa Jal will put this for you as a sadaqah, a charity. Now, when was the last time, I asked some of the brothers, when was the last time you put a morsel in your wife's mouth? He said, 25 years ago. On our wedding night, we exchanged cakes. That is it. So, okay, why don't you do it now? Maybe you should bite my fingers. There is so much dryness in our relationships with our spouses. The Prophet ﷺ, whenever Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, took a bite from a piece of meat, he used to take it from her and watches where her teeth were, and he eats from the same place. And whenever she drank milk from the cup, he would turn the cup and puts his lips on the same place where she drank from. Look at the love. I know gazillion of cases where the husband says to his wife, go and get me a spoon so that I can eat. She says, use my spoon. Is you crazy? You go wash it first. What is this? What are you doing? Where is the love? And they say, Wallah, Shaykh, I don't know where the love has gone. I know where the love has gone. It went down the drain when she washed the spoon she ate with. You have a problem. You have to fix that problem. It's means of reward.